Good evening, Franklin County. I'm Frank, and this is The Drop. Tonight, residents in the Waynesboro area are cleaning up after heavy rain brought flooding and damage to property and roads. A major traffic change is coming to Route 997 as construction continues near Waynesboro, and James Buchanan High School is introducing a new bell-to-bell cell phone policy. But I wonder if keeping cell phones away all day will improve the classroom, or does the policy go too far? We also have a splash pad reopening, free train rides this weekend, and a deal for anyone looking to stock up on fresh green beans. Let's get into it. We begin tonight in the Waynesboro area, where Tuesday evening's storm caused flash flooding, damage to roads and property. The Waynesboro Volunteer Fire Department responded to multiple flooding calls and reminded drivers never to attempt to travel through floodwater. Photos shared by the department show several streets covered by water, including one vehicle sitting in a flooded section of the roadway. And as we've seen before, it does not necessarily take deep water to create a dangerous situation. You may not be able to see the damage beneath the water, and moving water can quickly push a vehicle off the road. State Representative Chad Reichert said local and state officials are working to help get flood-affected residents' lives back on track. Anyone who's experienced property damage is being encouraged to photograph and document everything. Speak with their insurance company and report the damage to the proper local officials. Waynesboro Borough residents can report damage by emailing flooding reports at waynesboropa.gov. Damage can also be reported to Franklin County Emergency Management at 717-264-2813. Officials are also warning residents to be careful about possible repair scams following the storm. Pennsylvania state and local officials do not charge residents to inspect the storm damage. Anyone claiming to represent the government should also have identification available. So document the damage, verify who you're dealing with, and do not feel pressured into making an immediate decision with someone who unexpectedly shows up at your door. Drivers near Waynesboro will also see another change beginning Friday, July 31st. PennDOT says southbound Route 997, Anthony Highway, will be shifted into a temporary roadway at the northern roundabout. The change is part of an ongoing Orchard Road and Thomastown Road intersection improvement project in Washington Township. As part of the traffic shift, the temporary traffic signals will be removed. Drivers should expect lane restrictions and flaggers while the change is being completed, although access to nearby homes and businesses will remain available. Orchard Road remains closed at 997. The posted detour uses Route 316, also known as Grant Street, Route 16, or Main Street and Route 997. That area has already requested attention from drivers, and with the new traffic pattern beginning Friday, give yourself some additional time and watch the signs rather than relying on memory. Now to a story that'll probably create some conversation. James Buchanan High School has announced a new bell-to-bell cell phone and electronic device policy for the upcoming school year. According to the school's announcement, students will not have access to electronic personal devices from the beginning of homeroom or activity period until the end of the school day. Cell phone use will be prohibited in classrooms, study halls, hallways, restrooms, and locker rooms, the cafeteria, and other areas of the school. In other words, this is simply not a rule requiring students to put their phones away during instruction. It covers the entire school day. Students who need to contact home may ask a teacher or advisor for permission to use the school office. Students who are sick are being directed to the nurse, who can contact their parents or guardians. The policy does not include exceptions for situations approved by the building principal, as well as documented medical conditions, individualized education programs, and qualifying 504 service agreements. The disciplinary process becomes more serious with each violation. For the first offense, the phone is taken to the office, parents are notified, and a conference is held. The second offense includes another conference and requires a parent to pick up the cell phone. Further violations may result in school suspension, a required phone plan, and the phone being held in the office when the students arrive. The school says the goal is to reduce distractions, create a more focused learning environment, and align with upcoming state requirements. And I can see the reasoning. Teachers are trying to compete with text messages, social media, games, videos, and almost everything else is happening beyond the classroom. But a true bell-to-bell restriction also means students cannot check their phones during lunch or while moving in between classes. So I'm wondering, should high school students be required to keep their phones away for the entire school day, or should they be permitted to use them during lunch and other non-instructional periods? Let me know what you think. And just to be precise, this announcement is specifically for James Buchanan High School students. We are not saying tonight that every school in the Tuscarora School District or every school in Franklin County has adopted the same policy. Just wanting to clarify. And we have some positive news for families in Chambersburg. The Mike Waters Memorial Park splash pad on South 2nd Street reopened this morning at 8 o'clock. The splash pad had been closed because of mechanical problems, but Chambersburg Recreation says those issues have now been resolved. With the hot and humid part of summer still very much with us, that reopening comes at a good time for families looking for a place to cool down. And this Saturday, August 1st, Norlo Park is scheduled to offer free train rides from 1 to 4 p.m. The rides are weather permitting and will take place at Norlo Park at 3050 Lincoln Way East in Guilford Township. There's no charge to ride, although donations are accepted and appreciated. That is one of those simple local activities that may be perfect for families with younger children and probably a few adults that like to ride trains too. Finally tonight, Andrews Farm Market is offering a green bean sale. The market says green beans have been reduced by $4 per half bushel, bringing the current price to $24 a half bushel. That's not $4 for the entire half bushel, that's a $4 discount. So just wanted to make that distinction clear before someone goes looking for the deal of the century. But I think that's still a pretty good deal compared to what you're paying in the grocery store for just a little bag. And I can definitely eat some fresh green beans, but that will take me a long time. Still, anyone who freezes, cans, or cooks green beans in large quantities, that's definitely a deal worth checking out. So, that's today's drop. The big conversation tonight may be the new cell phone policy at James Buchanan High School. And I wonder if removing cell phones throughout the day will help students focus and give students and teachers a better classroom experience. Or should students still be allowed to use their cell phones during lunch and breaks? Tell me what you think. Still kind of on the fence on this one. And if you've experienced some storm damage in the Waynesboro area, make sure you document and get that taken care of. Thank you for watching Franklin County. I'm Frank. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.